Do you know that feeling when you're walking down a flight of stairs, not thinking about anything in particular, just minding your own business, and suddenly you miss a step? That split second of fear and energy that rushes through your body. That is exactly how my panic attacks felt like. But instead of just lasting for a split second, these attacks lasted minutes to hours each time. And yeah, I know, some of you might now say, hey, it's not possible to have a panic attack for hours at a time. But during the worst chapters of my anxiety disorder, I was so ramped up 24/7, I jumped in and out of panic attacks so regularly, it felt like I was in a panic attack for the majority of the day. And the only thing that could have stopped it was for my body and mind to be so exhausted that they needed a short break from all the terror, just to get enough rest to jumpstart it all again. Most of my panic attacks started with something very benign. This sounds pretty ridiculous now, but many times it started out with my index finger and thumb on my left hand feeling a little achy. It wasn't even achy, it just felt a little off. So I would be sitting there at my desk at work, notice the sensation, look at my hand, and then try to distract myself from the worries that came along with the sensation. Side note, this is the time in which I got my heart checked out already and was cleared from any heart disease and was assured that I'm dealing with health anxiety. So back to topic. In my mind, I was like fighting a battle to pull away from thinking about the sensation in my fingers. If I would have to visualize it, it would go something like this. La la la, I'm fine, I will just continue to work. Wait, what if it is the heart? Nah, I've been checked out, I'm fine. Let's have a quick glimpse at that feeling just to see if it still feels the same as it did last time. It does feel a little numb now too. Fuck, distract. And by that time, it of course was way too late. The sensation in my finger would completely suck me in, and I couldn't think of anything else. What started out as feeling a little weird now felt like numbness, pain and tingling in my whole hand. And I don't know where this came from, but I had this very intense anticipation that in any given second, I would feel extreme pain shooting from my hand all the way up to my chest area. I guess I read it on Google somewhere that a heart attack could feel this way. I don't remember. In my mind, I was pretty much convinced that I was going to have a heart attack. My heart started to beat really hard and fast. I could feel and hear it beat. I was so in tune with my heart that now even every beat fueled my fear even more. But even in these moments of terror, I still tried to control myself and act as normal as possible, because I didn't want my colleagues to think I was some lunatic or embarrass myself just in case all this wasn't really a heart attack. So again, my head felt like exploding with all these thoughts going through my mind. I didn't want to embarrass myself, but I also didn't want to just die because I was too embarrassed to ask for help. Not knowing what to do created so much more tension in my muscles. My whole body felt like a rock, and I would feel throbbing pains in my chest. My eyes suddenly couldn't focus anymore, and everything seemed extremely blurred out. And at times I felt like I had to concentrate on my breathing, or else I would suffocate. At this stage, nothing mattered anymore. And I went to the person I felt most comfortable with and asked if he could bring me to the ER, call the ambulance, whatever. This cycle happened countless times. Of course, not every panic attack brought me to the ER, but a lot of them did, way too many. Some were a little more controllable, and others escalated extremely fast. During the worst times of my anxiety disorder, I didn't even have to have these terrifying thoughts leading to a panic attack. My anxiety levels were so high throughout the day. A very simple trigger, like a quick pinch in my chest, and that would be all it took to get me right back into panic mode, without even knowing what was happening to me. I would stand there completely freaking out. As the years passed having an anxiety disorder, I've learned how to take a mental step back and be an observer of the mental and physical sensations that were happening to me. I wasn't reacting to the panic anymore, but was letting it pass naturally. This then slowly progressed into not having to deal with direct panic attacks anymore, but having to cope with high levels of anxiety that was there 24/7. I've learned to be very disciplined in implementing and learning new stress coping mechanisms and build them into my daily habits, which then eventually got me out of this anxiety cycle once and for all. It took me 5 years to do so, but I'm sure that it would have been a lot faster if I had the right information on hand. So this might sound super cheesy, but I do truly want to help as many of you out there. And I believe that having a strong understanding of your disorder and how it works, plus basic guidelines to stress coping techniques and habits, is all that you need to find long-term success. Up here you can find a playlist of techniques I have used to recover from my anxiety disorder. And I will continue to upload and add more and more info about recovery in the future. So if you're new here and don't want to miss any of my future videos, consider subscribing.